Me too.
Me too.
And hi,
And hi,
everybody.
everybody.
Can you tell whether people are actually watching or not? I can't.
Yeah,
Oh,
they have a
yeah, they
like
have a
button.
like button.
Good. Hello, everybody. So, I did put a post on Facebook, and I promised that I would talk about my first acid trip. And so, here we go. There I was in the United States Air Force. And in the heartland of the country, Dayton, Ohio. Well, obviously, I can't talk and play at the same time, so I'll just talk. Well, I was in the Air Force, and I worked in this cinder block building with no windows, and you had to punch in a code every day to get in, and they would frequently change the code, and so you would just be standing there until someone opened a little peeky window and went, "Oh, it's you," and let you in. Anyway, I had been. This was the early '60s, of course, and the height of the Vietnam War. And I was in the Air Force. My younger brother was in the Navy, and my older brother was in the Marines. And I had always been an inquisitive kind of person, and I had been looking into and reading a book called The Doors of Perception by Aldous Huxley, and talking about the use of hallucinogenics, et cetera, et cetera. So I studied. I read the book. I read several other books. I read articles, et cetera, et cetera. And at the time, I think there were maybe 13 hippies in the city of Dayton, Ohio. And 6 of them lived in the same house. And I used to hang out. Right next door was a good 20-story high-rise kind of condo building. The building we were in used to be an old VFW post. It had like a ballroom upstairs, this big open area, a couple of little rooms off the side. And I happened to mention the fact that I was interested in taking some LSD. One of the folks in the house said, "You know, I met this guy from the building next door, and he said he could get some." So she got the guy. He came over. He looked like an accountant. He was like thin. He had like very short, well-kept hair, wire frame glasses, which were hip at the time, little round ones. And he reached in his pocket, and before I move on, I'll give a little backstory. LSD was first discovered by a chemist, a scientist who worked for Sandoz Labs in Switzerland. Okay, end of the backstory. So this fellow reaches into his pocket, pulls out a little case that says Sandoz on it. And he opens it up, and there are like 24 little capsules, all in their own little, nestled in their own little bed. And each one of them has Sandoz on it, which I didn't think anything of at the time. But in retrospect, Dayton, Ohio, in the middle of cornfields, How do you run into someone who has LSD straight from Sandoz Labs? Anyway, got one, took it, was hanging out in the house. In the downstairs of the house, the living room had a Dutch door that went to the rest of the house. So I'm leaning on the bottom half of the Dutch door and watching everyone in the living room. And I was having a good chuckle at just how bizarre everyone was. And I got tired of that. And I went to walk into the kitchen, and on the way there was a full-length mirror. And I stood in front of the full-length mirror and said, "You are laughing at them?" And there I was, looking at my ego and saying, yep, it's not going to work. Of course, there's more to it than that, but I think I'll play a song before I get into anything else. Helen of Reed. Oh, wrong key. My brain is in one key, the guitar is in another. Oh, that's because I have a capo on my guitar. We're going up. The capo comes off. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice. That's I should have practiced that one. Moving on. Having recently just transcended this level of reality, one of my favorite songwriters, Mr. John Prine, penned this little ditty. It's been done by many people, much better than I, but I have my own little version of it, so I'll do it. It's called Angel from Montgomery. I am an old woman named after my mother, and my old man, he's another. He's a child that's grown old. Now her dreams were like thunder, and lightning, lightning, lightning was desire. This old house would have burned down a long time ago. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is such a hard way to go. Now when I was a young man, you know I had me a cowgirl. She was something to look at. I was a free and rambling man, but that was a long time. And no matter how hard I try, the years just keep on flowing like some broken down dam. You gotta make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. You gotta make me a poster of an old rodeo. Oh, and give me just one thing. You know that I can hold on to believe. Oh, in this living is such a hard way to go. Now when I was a young man, you know I had me a cowgirl. I had me a cowgirl. She was something to look at. And I was a free and rambling man. Oh, but that was such a long time. And no matter how hard I try, you know the years just keep on flowing. Just like some broken down dam. You gotta make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. You gotta make me a poster of an old rodeo. Oh, and give me just one thing. You know that I can hold on to believe in this living. It's such a hard way to go. You know there's flies in the kitchen, and I can hear them buzzing. And I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. Oh, and how in the hell can a person go to work in the morning, go to work and then come home in the evening and have absolutely nothing to say? You gotta make me an angel. You know that that flies from Montgomery. You gotta make me a poster of an old rodeo. Oh, and give me just one thing. You know that I can hold on to believe in this living is such a hard way to go. To believe in this living is such a hard way to go. Such a hard way to go. Such a hard way. And my guitar is sounding funny to me on this end. What does it sound like to you?
Sounds okay.
Sounds okay.
Lacking a
Lacking a little in bass.
That's it.
It might be what?
Lacking in
bass.
Bass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, I can fix that. Sometimes I just like to doodle, and that's pretty much what this song is. Well, this next song I'm going to play. Oh, wait a minute. It's still the same. This being Black History Week, I thought I'd give you a little of my history. And I won't do it in a minor key, though. We'll go to a major key. When I think I was about 8, my mother announced to my younger brother and myself that we were going to spend the summers with my grandmother in Charlottesville, Virginia. And which, up until this point had, some pretty decent memories because we'd gone down there on a couple Christmases, but basically never went anywhere other than the house and the yard, and we usually drove down with aunts and uncles and what have you. But this time, we went down on the train, which was, this was back when they had like the steam locomotives. Like they come into the station and it's like steam is blowing out from underneath them, and like you're about this high and the steam is over your head, and it's pretty awe-inspiring. I wish I knew some railroad songs. But anyway, so we got to go on the train, which I thought was pretty cool. And we left from Connecticut, and it was just, business as usual, watching houses and trees and other cities, little towns go by. Had to change trains in Grand Central Station, New York City. Now, for a kid who grew up in the country, this was amazing. There was just, I couldn't believe the numbers of people and noise and things going on. But my mother, being a veteran train rider, knew what to do, where to go. We got on the next train, we headed off. It stopped in Washington, D.C., and that's what my world started to get turned around. We were told we could no longer sit in the car that we were in. We had to go back to the colored car. And, I'm 8. I have no idea what this is about. But my mother grew up in the South, so we did the thing. And no longer did we have access to the dining car, but on our car, someone came around with a tray of sandwiches and candy and cans of pop or soda, depending on which part of the country you're from. And we got to Virginia, and it was like the first thing that happened, we get off the train, and my mother had to go do something and told us to stay where we were with the bags. And these local kids come walking by and call us the N-word and told us to go back north, that they didn't need us there. And my brother and I just, what? Because we've never encountered this before. And that's when I started looking around, and I noticed, there's the drinking fountain, there's a sign, there's one for whites, and there's one for colored. And I could not grasp, how the world had changed from what it was the day before, simply by going to a different part of the country. So I'll tie that in That's just one of my little remnants. There's a lot more. I don't think I really want to get into it because I'd rather be upbeat at this point. And let me just leave it with, I'm on a couple of groups, my hometown back in Connecticut. And people talk about just how idyllic our childhoods were. And I mean, for like the most part, I couldn't, as far as being a kid, I couldn't have asked for anything better. The adults were gone at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they didn't get back until 6 at night. There was the ocean, there were swamps, there were woods. There was the river that ran through town. And, but when they talk about, I really want to pipe up and say, well, you didn't have to take a 20-minute bus ride, like to get your hair cut. And no one told you that you couldn't rent a place outside of designated areas in your town. Anyway, and I want to say it, but I don't. I refer them. There was a book written by a Yale professor and a couple of his graduate students about my hometown, and I read it, and I could. Names weren't named, but just by the way certain people responded to questions and talked, like, I know who that is. That's Uncle Jim, and I think it was called Negro in Connecticut Town, or something to that effect. It was a long time ago. But anyway, so that ties in with this next song, which I thought I would write a song about my hometown. And I kind of tied it in with this gift I was given by the internet, which said, parents around the world call their children with the same interval. Children. And so I thought, I'm going to write a song around that. And then the song kind of tied in with my hometown. And then after I played it a few times, I started realizing it could also be a metaphor for a society that needs to grow up. It's called Children. Children, time to come in now. Children, oh, time to come in now. Spring woke up to a baseball breeze. Bike tires purred under canopy trees. Fishing rods pulled from closets dark. Campfires kindled with just one spark. We ran through the summer like water through sand. And we dove and swam till we couldn't stand. Oh, and our loves of summer, they waved goodbye through the leaf fired haze, while our hearts did cry. So come on now, children, children, time to come in now. Summer's over, it's time to put away all your toys. Summer's over and it's time to put away all your toys. Still we ran through the summer like water through sand. We dove and swam till we couldn't stand. So come on now, children, children, time to come in now. You know it's time to come in, Oh, played around with that one. So how loud is my guitar compared to my voice on your end?
I brought your mic down a little bit to match.
To turn the vocal down?
Yeah, I did.
Good plan. So how is this compared to what it was before?
Now your vocals are louder.
Now my vocals are louder?
Yep.
Well, that's interesting because I turn the vocal down. Unless I'm going to take. Okay, Emily, I see what you're saying. One. Okay.
That's better.
That's better.
It's funny how life works sometimes. I was in another part of the country working. Got involved with this young lady. And at the time she said, if we're going to live together, we're going to have to get married. And I said, okay, let me think about that. So I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it some more. And then I gave it a second thought. Then I realized it's a great idea. At that point, I told her that. And she said, I'm no longer romantically interested in you. Well, to say I was disappointed would be an understatement. But with the wisdom of hindsight and years, what did I expect? If it took me that long to figure out what I was feeling, I would have gone off too. But at the time, I was young and relatively full of myself. So I wrote this song about it. And it was precipitated by a hot summer night. And the organization I worked for, I was doing the audio for some folk concerts. And my romantic interest was sitting directly in front of the board with her new beau. And there was an open door near me, and I could see my car out of it. And I was thinking, I should just go. You know, I thought about running so I wouldn't see him sitting close where I want to be. When you said I don't love you, said I don't love you, I knew we were through. Something's breaking up here. What's going on? But I hope my battery's not dying. She said, I don't love you. I knew we were through. She said, my romantic plans just don't include you. It's not easy to take back my heart when I give it away. Love doesn't flow and then stop the very next day. She said, don't pursue me. I said, yes, that's only right. Oh, but there's one thing I want to bring out into the light. I will still love you, though I'm not in town. I will still love you when the heavens come down, down, down. Just once in a lifetime, once in a lifetime does it come around. I don't know why you're looking, don't know why you're looking when I'm already found. It's not easy. No, it's not. It's not easy. No, 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 no. It's not easy. No, no. It's not easy. It's not easy to take back my heart when I give it away. Love doesn't flow and then stop the very next day. Just once in a lifetime does it come around. I don't know why you're looking when I'm already found. I don't know why you're looking when I'm already found. I don't know why you're looking. I don't know why you're looking. I don't know why you're looking when I'm already found. Already found. Already found. Already found. What do you think, Emily? How close are you to finishing that little baby?
Not as close as deadline.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Due to a shipping snafu.
Yeah, I saw that post. You know, people don't remember what the word fragile means anymore.
Not even.
Well, let's see. Let's see, what can I talk about while I'm tuning? Well, yes, going back to that first LSD trip. As it turns out, There's like a major thoroughfare behind this house we lived in. And the house was kind of like up on the hill, and the boulevard, or the major intersection there was well underneath, basically line of sight to the house. So, but I remember the kitchen was in the rear of the house, and I was went to the kitchen for something, and evidently there was a traffic stop down on the thoroughfare there. I walk in the kitchen, and there's the red light is like bouncing off of the walls, and I forget at that time it was alternating colors like red and green or something, or blue, that sort of bluish thing. And I thought that I probably should get paranoid. Oh, it was way too interesting to get paranoid about. And I wandered upstairs to the ballroom area, where some let me tell you, there are some people who just like, they want to mess with you. And this guy walked up to me and says, "Hey, look at my sleeve. Isn't it, doesn't it look like snakes on my sleeve, crawling up and down my sleeve?" And I just looked at him and said,
It's kind of messed up.
I said, "No." That's the one thing that, if nothing else, that I realized was that, I lived through the 60s, so I had more than a nodding acquaintance with hallucinogenics, but, people would be seeing things, and I'd be looking and going, "Where?" I don't see it. So I was usually the person people would come to for a reality check and go, Are there bugs crawling on the toilet? No, that's just a pattern in the marble, kind of thing. But this song reminds me of something I would have written then, if I could have played the guitar decently. It was inspired by a YouTube video. It was Joan Baez talking about how Bob Dylan would sit in her kitchen, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, and writing free verse. I said, well, I think I'll write some free verse. And this was the upshot of that little experiment. And like most of my songs, I go back and I look at it and I listen to it and I read the words and I see meanings that I hadn't even intended. But there they are. My eyes had opened on the morning. Oh, no one was going into town. So I'm just sitting here chilly, waiting in the evening for another day to come around. No one bought into my perceptions that it's more fun to draw outside the lines. But now I'm backing up from the end of the road, because it's still not quitting time. You know that I've been selling apples, oh, and I've been locked in chains, but now I'm singing secrets in the wind. I'm not waiting for my luck to change. No one was gonna find me. Oh, no one would give me any of their precious time. So now I'm whistling while I'm walking. I'm singing instead of talking all the time. So if you fall down from the mountain, pick yourself up off the ground. If your dreams are scattered ashes, just turn yourself around until the water tastes like honey, and your blind eyes start to see, and your blind eyes start to see. You know, I said it was a bad time. You know, I said it was someone else's blame. Oh, but you know, it was my own decision that left me out here in the rain. I thought there was time for one more go. I thought there was time for one more rock and roll show, but now I'm thinking it's not time to go home. It's not time to go. Oh, roll on down to the ocean. You can roll on down to me. Come on, baby, roll on down to the river. Come on, honey, roll on down. I'm waiting by the tree. Oh, by the tree, I will be waiting. Yes, I will be waiting. I will be waiting by the tree. Oh, I will be waiting. I will be waiting. I will be waiting by the tree. Well, thank you, Facebook user. That's the best thing I've heard in a long time.
That's
Because-
Janet.
Janet.
Well, I have no idea who Janet is. But the compliment so disconcerted me, I dropped my pick. Thank you, Janet. Okay, I just had to remind myself how that song went, because I haven't played it in like, I think a year. But, wait a minute. It's one of the songs that, reflect what I think about life and creation in general. I lend myself in a spiritual fashion more towards the we're here to learn and experience. And learn lessons. If we don't get the lessons right, it's not like it's a punishment, because the lesson has to do with our evolving to a higher level of consciousness. So we go around the wheel of life, some more than others. Another thing is that before we incarnate into our bodies, we make contracts with other spiritual beings to help us with our lessons. You know, and they're usually those people you meet and you go, I know this person. I call it next time around the wheel. I was ready to stop trying all I found was more lying, my spirit torn and bleeding. You know, I was needing that one true voice. I looked outside me for the answer. You know that I let fear spread through me just like a cancer. I left myself in the lurch until at 14, 15 birds and finally one true voice. It doesn't happen often that you find one. And even if you do, doesn't mean she's gonna stay. All you can do is grow into a wise and patient man. And let her love fill your life, let her love fill your life like the sun. Summer day. So I was ready to stop trying. All I found was more lying, my spirit torn. Yes, you know I was needing that voice. And you know I was needing, yes I was needing, got to know I was needing that voice. You know that one true voice. You know that one true voice. You know there's way too many saddles in this one-horse town. You know, I think I'm going to talk about this song before I do it, because it is topical. It meaning this is exactly what is wrong with Washington, D.C. I grew up in a small New England town, and it was the same thing. You know, everyone aspired to get to that one. Not everyone. Okay, enough of the generalities. But for the most part, the game as it was played was to get to positions of power within the town structure, and thereby having, you know, some power, some authority, and also job security, so to speak. Well, it occurred to me at some point that this is exactly what's going on in Washington, D.C. Um, you know, especially if you look at what's going on with the Senate hearings. Any rational, fair minded, not worried about their political future or how much money they're going to not get person would go, well, this is a foregone conclusion, guilty. But that's not happening because there's more concern about, well, I'm going to run for president in 2024. I can't alienate Trump's base. And, oh, well, I really like this job. You know, I barely have to work. And the rest of the time I'm out, you know, pressing the flesh in my home state to make sure I get reelected. And so we, the people, kind of go unnoticed, you know, for the most part. And yes, the current administration is working towards rebalancing the equation, but it's long overdue. It's like we had a heads up in the 50s that this was coming when Eisenhower warned us all to beware of the military industrial complex because they're going to buy the government. Anyway, it's called One Horse Town. And in this particular town, that horse is called the gravy train. You know there's way too many saddles in this one horse town. Everybody wants to ride, but the horse is going down. Way too many saddles and the horse is getting lame. Way too many saddles and we're the ones to blame. It's a small town way of thinking that keeps us all in check. When you have that tunnel vision, you just can't see the wreck. Oh, the garden's getting ruined because the bottom line is what counts. Politicians line their pockets to buy the votes they all need to mount. The horse we call a gravy train and a salary for life. Dreams are killed with tainted law. There's no need for a knife. There are way too many saddles in this one horse town. Everybody wants to ride. Everybody wants to ride. Oh, everybody wants to but the horse is going, the horse is going, the horse is going down. And now you're starting on those hands. Well, I just realized that when I turn on my tuner, you can't hear me tune. Another plus for this little device down on the floor. Because I tend to do a bit of tuning.
Are you really ever a musician if you don't tune?
That is an excellent point. On more than one occasion, I've been to like an open mic somewhere, and someone would get up, and they would just start playing, and the guitar would be totally out of tune, and I could not understand for the life of me why, why this happened. But I think I will do one more, and then I will go do something about my low blood sugar. What shall we do? We got to get out here. And you don't need to hear me do it. Okay. Alrighty then. I wrote this song in response to the savings and loan mortgage swap fiasco that bankrupted a lot of people. And instead of being punished for this glaringly illegal thing, we ended up bailing out the banks and the CEOs who were behind this whole thing. Let's move forward to the present. When the not rogue, but I forget which of the social media companies they were associated with, but they just took over a stock and drove its price up sky high so that all the big boys who were shorting the stock lost a lot of money. And what did the market say? You know, well, if it had been us and we lost, they would have said, hey, tough, it's a gamble. But no, they stopped the trading so it wouldn't get any worse. Which meant that a lot of people who had made a lot of money doing this couldn't sell their stock. But anyway, I digress, as I do, which brings up another point. I come to be at peace with the fact that I fall somewhere on the autistic spectrum. I get an inordinate pleasure out of lining things up so that they're perpendicular and parallel to other things. But anyway, and the others, as you can see, I suffer from attention deficit disorder, which my daughter diagnosed a few years back. And she said, Dad, you're just an adult ADD. I'm surprised I managed as well as I did working in the corporate sector with a brain that would just be following the line of logic and suddenly would squirrel. Or someone's talking about something very complex and convoluted, and somehow one of the phrases they use makes me think of a song. The next thing you know, the song's in my head, whatever they were talking about is gone. All right, so let's talk about how we bailed out those big banks. We did it because, quote unquote, they were too big to fail. You know we bailed out the big boys with no interest loans because they were too big, they were just too damn big to fail. Oh, but Iceland used some common sense, and they put their fools in jail. Oh, you have to learn to serve before you lead, 'cause the best ones came up that way. So to your spent doctors and talking heads. There's only one thing I wanna say. No, I won't follow. No, I won't follow you down, down. And I won't follow. No, I won't follow you down. No, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. I will not. No, I won't. I won't follow you down. I won't follow you down. I won't follow you down, 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 down. No, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. You know we bailed out the deep boys with no interest loans because they were too big, they were just too damn big to fail. Oh, but Iceland used some common sense and they put their fools in jail. Oh, you have to learn to serve before you leave, 'cause the best ones came up that way. So to your spin doctors and talking heads, there's only one thing I wanna say. No, I won't follow you down, and I won't follow you down. I won't follow you down, down. Okay. Emily, thank you for
playing
oh,
and telling stories.
well, hopefully I'll get better at doing this.
I'd love to have you back again.
Yep, I would love it. So, anyone watching, thank you for watching. And food for people. Remember your donations. All right. Take care.
Please.